BLSS?
Yeah.
S?
Yeah.
HT? Or
Yeah. Triple S. Gets a bit ugly, doesn't it?
That would have been great for the microphone, that. Welcome back, everyone.
What's up? So we had
Heaps.
a really unstructured episode last week.
Mm.
We have a very tight structured... No, we don't really.
We worked out what we were going to talk about 15 minutes ago. No, we didn't. We spoke about it last week and forgot.
Yeah. So the first announcement is we are back on the STCfit channel this week as well. So if you're not already subscribed over there, look at that ad in the first 30 seconds.
Yeah.
There you go. I've had in my mind that I have to do ad reads today. So I'm just fucking ready.
Yep.
So I'm going to sell my socks off today.
Ooh, what socks you got on?
These are actually, they're not fancy. They're from
I need
H&M,
to get new socks, actually.
but they are from H&M in Switzerland. So they must be better, right?
But those Euro socks.
It just means they cost me a fucking fortune for the same socks that we could pay for here.
Fuck, man. Socks are just one of those things. Does everyone else's socks just evade them? Like, I just
Disappear?
find... Yeah. I just find once they go in, they just never come back.
Credit to my wife, who does all of our washing, thankfully. They seem to come back.
Yeah. Maybe it's got to do with the system. I don't want to mess with the system, though, because then that means I'll have to do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it.
I'm at that point in my life, though, where I actually asked for socks for my birthday.
Yep.
It's the last time I bought socks was, in Switzerland. But before that, I asked for socks for Christmas as well.
Yeah, I think I'm looking at investing in some because there's like fashion socks now.
Yeah,
there's socks for like fashion. So...
Right. It's a thing.
Yeah, where I used to just wear the ones that like you can't see your ankles.
Yeah.
Steph's dad thought that was very weird.
Yeah.
They're not the words that he used, but I can't use what he actually said on the podcast because it's not correct. It's not socially acceptable to say the things that old European men say.
Yes, I imagine so.
To be very proud when I walk in one day and I've got socks that he can see.
Yeah.
With my shoes on.
Yeah. Are you not allowed to wear shorts too, or is we okay with
Nah, it's all good. It's all good.
It's not that far.
But the socks are just not it.
Yeah.
You have to have everything. I feel like with like old wogs, everything has to be pulled up to the max. Like my granddad was like, man, he'd wear his like fucking trousers like up to his like waist, his belly button and shit. Yeah. Like I just feel like everything has to be to the max.
Tucked in white singlet.
Yeah, tucked in white singlet, pants pulled up to your chest.
Yeah.
You know, the socks, pulling them up that fucking
show
hard.
Off the goods, mate.
Showing off the goods. Oh,
what is it? A moose something?
A moose knuckle. Yeah.
There's an image for everyone at home. Welcome to the podcast.
For the old fucking moose knuckle.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I hope this 90s trend continues.
Yeah. Of?
Just like oversized.
Oh, yeah.
Big. Like, bring back the kappa suits.
I love an oversized everything.
Remember the yellow tracksuits? We're showing our age here, but...
I just think of button-up pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I think of in the 90s. And parachute pants in the early 90s. You know, like MC Hammer and shit. Like, I had a pair of parachute pants.
Yeah, I was... didn't have the appropriate ethnicity to wear pants with buttons on them. That wasn't...
We did because we played sport.
Yeah, I played sport too, but
basketball,
I was like... I could only wear the tracksuit pants with a zip.
Yeah.
So you could still get it over your shoes.
I didn't wear them out.
But the old Adidas buttons, not for me.
No. To your surprise, I didn't wear them. And I didn't have a bum bag either.
You didn't?
No.
No, okay.
The only time I had a bum bag is when I bought Steph's wedding ring, engagement ring.
Yeah, to go on that walk.
Go, what? And she fucking roasted me for the whole time. Like, this dude with his fucking bum bag. Like, I'm like, all right, woman, we'll see.
You won't hate it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, didn't fall into the trap. Didn't have the hat with the coin at the back, you know, with the little rubber band. Had a big enough head to just wear the hat.
Yeah. Yeah, I was more like skate brands back in those days. Very Osmosis.
Oh, yep.
Would have been my place of choice. We had a local shout out to Jesse's in Shepparton, which I don't think exists anymore. But yeah.
R.I.P.
It was like that was the place. And Wayne Ritchie's Skier's Edge.
Right.
They were the two shops. They're the only shops you went into.
I love how they're people's names.
Yeah.
It's so country town.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He had two. I wonder if he was actually like a good snowboarder or something, because it was like a snowboard shop.
Oh, okay.
I wonder if he was good, so he was like, I'll name my store this.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, how to become a standout PT.
Cool story.
Great chat. So yeah, we haven't done, I guess, an episode talking about how to actually be a really good personal trainer across the board for a while. We've kind of honed in on little specifics. So goal for the episode today is to put together something for you guys to go away with and be able to look at your business and assess, well, how do I become the best in my gym, top tier of the industry, and put yourself in a position where you can actually sustain this as a career for an extended period of time.
Yep.
So most personal trainers we sit down with, it's like, do you know 3, 6, 12-month goals? Most of them will have an idea. 3 and 5.
Are you sure?
Well,
are you sure?
An idea of those initial ones, and then you ask 3 and 5 years.
Yeah.
And it just capitulates. So today, I guess, is to start to think about that. Like last week's episode, we had a chat about where we went with our career, and when we sort of got to the tipping point of like, actually, we can't keep just getting fucked up every weekend and doing 4 million sessions a week.
Yeah.
That's not really sustainable. So the PTs that come to us, they want to get out of the trap of chasing business. They usually have shit back ends. So not their glutes, as in their back end business systems.
Posterior chain.
Yeah. Too much chest and quads. Yeah, so the systems that their business needs to run efficiently and effectively aren't there.
Yeah.
Which people miss actually affects your ability to get client results as well. Because they're not put into a system that they can easily follow and set expectations and all that kind of stuff. So it does actually affect client outcomes, which I don't think people think about. And then, yeah, the third thing is like they're looking at this going, well, how do I not work the morning split shift into the early morning, the mid-morning, and then the afternoon shift.
Yeah.
And
Saturdays to Sundays.
Yeah. It's like the money might be good or they're struggling. But either way, it's like I can't see what I'm doing now lasting for forever. So that's our goal today. So first, obviously you guys have probably heard us talk about our 5 pillars before. The first one being mentality.
Yeah. So
what do you think let's go a different angle. What did you change with your mentality to go from the session trainer to running a business?
Oh, that's a good question.
Put him on the spot.
What did I change?
Yeah. What changed with the way you think, the way you looked at things?
Oh, it was probably just getting over the ego of like being, intelligent, book smart, really good at the hard skills of the job. And then, just knowing that like, you've got to take that plunge into those demonized areas of the personal training industry, like sales, marketing, systems and stuff. Like you can get in your own head and just be like, I shouldn't have to do this because I have a really expensive HEX debt. Yeah. But, that's just it's just shackling you.
I feel like these days you can throw a content creator in there as well.
Yeah.
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 There's so many people that were like, I'll never fucking make a reel, bro. It's like, now you're making reels.
I never said I wouldn't make a reel, but I never said I'd do this.
I'd never dance at and pointing this shit. Yeah.
Still won't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that was the one, like, you, at some point, like, you're working in a capacity, like, at all times. Like, we have a capacity and, like, there's a ceiling. And I was just working in that time for money, which has the lowest ceiling. So the only way to break through that is you have to have a look at, like, well, how do I make my business less dependent on me? So, that's kind of where I had to move from. And then I guess, like, seeing other people who I believed technically I was better than thrive.
He's talking about me, guys.
Excel beyond me. From a business and a bottom line perspective, I was like, well, for me, I was just like, no, I can't have that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be the best. You know what I mean? Like, so I knew I was a really good technical trainer, but then I was like, nah, fuck that. Like, I just want to be the actual best.
Yeah, I can still see Jason's face when I told him I went to $2 a minute. It's hilarious. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you dog. So yeah, that was probably
yeah,
a bit of healthy competition, I guess.
So I think too, like, we talk about the growth and ownership mindset a lot. And we've talked about it enough that I can say it without you disagreeing or being in any way upset about it.
No,
I think the growth part of that was the biggest challenge for you. It was like everything had to be perfect, otherwise it didn't go out.
Oh yeah.
And there was, like you said, resistance to sales, marketing, all that other business and stuff. And it was just like, no, I had the cert, so this is the way I'm gonna.
Yeah. I think awareness as well. Like I just didn't know.
Yeah.
You know, I just didn't know there was a world out there that like could open doors and create opportunity.
Yeah.
It's probably bad mentoring from whoever I was working towards, working with, you know?
Yeah.
Like just train people. Like, okay, where are the people? How do we get the people? How do we keep the people?
Yeah.
And how do we serve the people? So, yeah, I think awareness is a big one too.
So the flip side to that is the ownership mindset, which is something that I probably struggled with. And we always say, like, your business will only grow as fast as you do as a person. So it's probably something I struggle with outside of work that then obviously influenced my work. It's the gym's fault. Rent's expensive. This is shit. Everyone else is selling Herbalife. That trainer's shit, and they've got a full book and blah, 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 blah. So it's funny. It's everyone that comes through Standout now starts tagging us in, like, anything that comes up. It's like, it's not your fault. Even if it's not your fault, it's still your responsibility.
Yeah.
And I think without that, I don't think you can be a successful business owner without thinking that way.
Yeah.
And even if you get to a point where income's good and things are working well, I think you'd just be fucking miserable. Because you're just constantly blaming other things.
Oh, yeah.
And the blame part is just like, well, I'm just giving all of my control and power to that external circumstance.
Yeah. I don't even know if you could be successful with that mentality.
Yeah. I know a few business owners outside of the fitness industry that do okay, that have that attitude.
Oh, yeah.
But they still, after decades in their industry, work 60 hours a week and are still, you never hear a good thing about their business from them.
Yeah.
They're always busy and stressed.
Sounds exhausting mentally.
Yeah. So it depends what you determine success to be.
Yeah, of course.
Makes good money. Business is still operating.
Yeah.
But are they serving the business, or is the business serving them?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's something to look at there. So tying those two together. So you need so the growth ownership part is basically being willing to fuck everything up as many times as you need to be good at it. And understanding that where you are right now isn't where you need to stay. So if you're looking at things going, oh, well, I don't know how to make a reel, for example. Like, yes, neither did we. Neither did anyone else, like a year ago. Yeah. But now we've all learnt and taught ourselves, and content gets better every time. And I got my first compliment from Tam this week.
And I saw that, dog.
I've made it. Tam said my
I haven't made it yet.
Maybe yours is just at a better standard, so mine stood out as like...
Nah, dogged me. So that hurt me.
Oh, he's shaking.
I've made a few reels, and I've like even said to Steph, I go, look, I made this one all by myself.
Yeah.
And she was obviously like, it's really good, babe.
Looks good.
But that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
So I'm still waiting for that. Now that I've said it, he's going to give me the sympathy one. I'm not taking it.
I'm now chasing external validation for everything I post now. I'm like, I wonder if Tam will say this one was good.
But I think it's good. Fuck yes.
Yeah. But yeah, so coming back to that growth idea. So Carol Dweck has a book called Mindset. If you're listening to this and you're in a position where you say things like, I'm not good at sales, or I can't create content, or I can't make resources, or whatever it is, whatever limitation you're putting on your own abilities, go read that book.
Yeah.
And change that thought pattern, because it will hold you back for as long as you think that way.
First 150 pages, at least.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you're kind of done, to be honest.
Yeah. Pick the environment that you want to learn the mindsets in.
Yeah. The audiobooks are actually really good too, and you can listen to it about 1.5 and you'll be sweet.
Yeah.
So yeah, then extreme ownership. So that kind of concept comes from Jocko Willink. Extreme Ownership is the book. I can never remember the co-author, Sosbro, but Jocko's Jocko, and everyone remembers Jocko. So really good book as well. Obviously, just ties in the concepts of taking extreme ownership in a military environment and then tying it over to business and businesses that they've worked with and examples and stuff. Again, really easy listen. Jocko's voice is obviously awesome to listen to and gets you G'd up. But yeah, if you're blaming the gym, saying that rent's too expensive, blaming the algorithm, you've been shadow banned, like whatever it is that you're like, it's some. I need better clients. What is that? That one irks me. It's like, what does that mean? I need better clients. It's like the only way to get more advanced clients is to show that you can get results with advanced clients. So earn better clients. Again, that's that extreme ownership part. So yeah, get onto that book, have a listen to that as well if that's, I guess, where you're stuck at the moment. And then the last part of the mentality section that we look at is values. So something that we didn't do early, we only introduced that not that long ago, really, last few years. We started really looking at
2019. Yeah. 2019.
Yeah, we started really looking at like core values that we held ourselves.
Yep.
And core values that we held with the business. So if it's only been recent, what have you noticed in the gym or in business and outside since we opened that?
Just awareness of like how I feel to what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Mainly. So if I'm not, like sometimes I used to feel unfulfilled, but I didn't know why. So now I have a little bit more of an inroad to finding out why. It's like, I'm not working on these things. I find these things really important. You know, that cup's not getting filled right now.
Yeah.
So I think that probably with mainly with the lockdown stuff, like why I felt shit moving out of the gym.
Yeah.
Because it was like I thought that, you know, working in the gym was who I was as a person.
Yeah.
And then it was like, no, those things allowed you to do these things.
Yeah.
And it's these things that you actually, that are what actually make you. Or a large composition of you. So just make sure you do those things in a capacity and you should get that kind of fulfillment back.
Yeah.
So I think that was probably the biggest one. But then, yeah, now it's just like, if it doesn't fill my cup, like I don't really want to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So I guess in terms of practicality, what we did is typically you take, and you can just Google like a list of core values.
Yeah.
Look at identifying 10 that resonate with you. And then of those 10, which 5 are you expressing really well in your life? And then which 5 need attention? And then when you're in situations like Jace was saying, like left the gym, then we went into lockdown, our gym didn't happen straight away. All of those things, you can actually step back and go, okay, well, what is the value that's not being fulfilled in my life? So I can then fulfill that again and make sure that it's a part of it. It also allows you to make much better business decisions.
Yeah.
So a lot of people will say like, I can't say no to new clients or opportunities or whatever. To me, that sort of says that you're not in tune with your core values.
Yeah, and your goals.
You haven't identified what they are enough to be able to say like, that isn't actually going to express the core value that I need to, and like you said, lead to those goals that have really just been set off maximizing your time in doing the things that serve the core values.
Yeah, and I think if there are some things within your business that like you do find a little bit tedious, but they have to be done, tying them back to the values can be a really good way of like getting them done as well. Because
100%.
like we don't want to have this mindset that it's like, oh, well, you know, everything should just be a walk in the park and we shouldn't, you know, have fulfillment and enjoyment in absolutely everything we do. Some things need to be done.
Yeah.
But if you can tie it back to the values and tie it back to the goals in some way, like those things still have to get done and they get done.
Yeah, that's it. It's looking for long-term fulfillment rather than instantaneous
Correct.
feeling of
Yeah, because people can really screw that up.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And for example, so like this carries over into that kind of growth mindset thing. It's like if you don't like making content, if you don't like making phone calls, if you don't like whatever, and your thing is growth and learning, it's like, well, if I'm shit at it, I need to do stuff that I'm shit at to get better at it to fulfill that cup. And if I don't learn something over the week, I don't feel fulfilled. So it's like, well...
Yeah, if your value is contribution and you like helping people,
you
can't help people without speaking to them.
That's right. Yeah, 100%. So yeah, that obviously helps. If you can apply those things, so have a growth and ownership mindset, know your core values, the whole drive behind that and why we talk about it in Standout PT and everywhere else that we kind of go is because if everyone just did all the shit that they said they were going to do, their businesses would probably look better than what they do right now. So we need to put steps in place that'll get us or encourage us to just do the things we say we're going to do.
Yeah.
And that would probably have a big impact on your business.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? You're listening to the STCfit Learning Podcast, brought to you by ourselves. Feel free to go check out our website, so stcfitlearning.com. On there, we have a bunch of free resources, including how to niche your business, how to actually sell during consults, and a free programming template, plus our business scorecard, which you can go and take and see how you stack up in the industry based on what we think is elite and how to become the best trainer in your gym, in your town, and in the industry. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you take a screenshot and tag us, we really, really appreciate it. It really helps get this message out to help improve our industry and keep people in their personal training careers. Enjoy the app. Awesome. So that's mentality. So then we move on to, once we have that, you know what your core values are. You've got this attitude that you can approach business like a killer. What's the business? What's the business model itself?
What's it now or what it should be?
Yeah. So identifying your business model starts with identifying who your client is. So for some people, if you're a little bit further down the road, you've got at least 3/4, if not a full book, and you're kind of in a position where it's like, okay, now I can start to look, who exactly do I want to work with? Still don't like the term beta clients, but I can
who I want to attract.
Yeah, I can look for a specific group of people that I'm really good at working with, who value what I do, who I can get results with, and who will fulfill me in terms of, because you'll show up the best for those people. You'll be the most motivated, you'll be the most passionate. You've probably all got a couple of those clients already, and I know we're in a position where we have the majority of our client base are that, and it makes going to work a lot easier than when we didn't.
Yep.
So identifying that, and then if you're newer, it's just a more broad lens of looking at like, okay, we always say like when you start out, you train everyone. It's like, okay, so what is everyone? It's going to be everyone in your gym usually, like online training everyone. I don't know if that's a thing. It might be if you've got a big following and you might be able to do it. I don't know. I haven't seen anyone be really successful at it.
Yeah.
But you have a very clear clientele that go to your gym. So being able to identify, okay, who's that person? What can I do to help them? So then we go through, we call it a value compass, and we do this. We call it the most important document in the entire Standout PT program. This is basically the soul of your business, or what everything
blueprint
revolves around. So, blueprint's probably a good term. What everything else revolves around. So we start off with the client themselves, as much detail as you can think of with that client.
Yep.
An easy way to start there is just like think of 1 or 2 people that you already have, and just like hone in on them and get to know them as much as you can. Then identify, well, what's their main problem? What do they wake up every day annoyed about, stressed about, struggling with, frustrated by, whatever? What's the biggest pain they have around their health and fitness? Break that down. Next step, okay, well, what are the 3 core problems that they talk about? So their big pain might be, like ours is like they're frustrated with results. So that sounds not huge, but it actually excludes a whole lot of people. Because that means this person's already training. They're probably following some type of program. They're trying things with their nutrition. They're trying things to achieve the goal that they want to achieve, but they're not getting the outcome.
Yeah.
So do we have someone who comes to us who's like, oh, like I haven't trained for 5 years or 15 years and I just want to get back in the gym? No, because we've excluded them in this.
Yeah.
But that makes us attract that person way more. So then identifying the core problems. What are the 3 that we have? So
overwhelmed with what to do in the gym.
Yeah. Sick of a generic program.
Not
sure how to set up phasic nutrition, we call it.
Yeah.
So being able to have deliberate diet phases, etc.
Yeah. Or overwhelmed with what to eat and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have those in place, which we really clearly are able to recite at all times, means, again, we can start really honing in on who that person is. So we know this person's already training. They've probably got some PDF program from a Fitspo. So they're the things that we're going to need to talk about. Why are they struggling with their nutrition? Why are they struggling with what to do when they go in the gym? It's not that they don't know the difference between a leg press and a hack squat. It's they don't know whether the leg press or hack squat will build the glutes they want.
Yep.
They don't know what order they should do that in. They don't know all of these things, and they need guidance. The third one's accountability.
There's a lot of problems anyway. It's more than 3.
So then what we do is go through and identify, okay, so what areas are we skilled in?
Yeah.
So for us, we have the master method. So basically we're looking at mentality, same as here. Is approach, which is your programming. MAS is sustenance, which is nutrition. T, which is training. And then R, which is recovery.
Yep.
So we look across all of those and go, okay, what problems do they have in these areas? Does my business serve all of those? Can I solve all of these problems in my business? So if you're having to think about tying this back to where you are right now in your business, whether you're online or face-to-face, can someone come to you who we described? So you've picked that top person, identified their 3 problems, had a look at what areas you want to work with people. So you might not want to talk about mentality. You might not want to talk about recovery. You just want to do training, nutrition, whatever. So what areas are you telling people that you work in? And then what problems does that client have inside those areas? And how does your business solve those problems? So don't put mindset in your in this value compass if you don't talk about it, or you provide no resources for it, or you have no structure for it. And if you want to do that, you need to go away and build them. That's how you need to start developing this stuff. So once you've got all of that put together, we can go, cool, what are the outcomes? They're going to be the opposite of the 3 problems. What's the big outcome? And now that is what you're selling. That is your entire business. If you come to me with these problems, you will leave with these outcomes. Done. That's it. It's the fucking cheat code to everything. It doesn't. It doesn't obviously just like automatically full book and everyone's kind of banging down your door to train with you, but this is the crux of everything that you need to build off of.
Yeah.
So if you don't have that in place, spend some time, sit down. There's blogs on our website, STCfitlearning.com, if you want to go look at Value Compass and check out kind of how to structure this, or you can rewind and pen and paper and listen to our voices again. But yeah, that'll make a huge difference to how your business operates. So the business model, now we go, okay, how do I best serve that person?
Yeah.
So cool, we need obviously direct debits, minimum terms, because we're going to need a sustained period of time to get a result for them. We don't want them flitting in and out. Then, okay, so how much are we charging? What's the service worth to provide the solution to these problems? What's the market value? What are you coming in? What do they need? So if you're going to be really big on mindset, for example, which is the thing at the moment, maybe you need to do a Zoom call if you're online.
Yeah.
Or maybe you need to have specific time with a face-to-face client where you're diving into that. Kind of defeats the purpose in my eyes of going online, doing the Zoom call, but each to their own. Because the reason I say that is it just puts you back in that training time for money.
Yeah.
which you're committed to a time slot with a person at all times.
Yeah, you're just working from home.
Yeah, which is what you're trying to work away from typically.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what do I actually need to provide? So that then we have this business model where, cool, this is roughly what I'm going to charge. This is kind of what I'm going to offer. These are the problems that I solve and who I work with. So that's your model. So before we keep going, I just want to give you guys a little message about our Standout PT program. So Standout PT has been designed for personal trainers who want to sustain a long-term career in fitness, but right now they're sick of chasing clients. They're not making enough time for money, and they're super frustrated with the results that they're getting in their business, and they can't see themselves being here in 3 to 5 years' time. If you want to know more about the Standout PT program, head to STCfitLearning.com, head to programs, and all the details are there, and you can book in your free exploration call where we can have a look and see whether or not that would actually be a suitable program for where your business is at right now. And back to the episode. Then we go into the service. So what service does that person overall actually need?
Yeah.
So maybe we've kind of just described who we work with and the problems that they have and the pillars. So could you go through, start to finish, what a client gets when they come to work with us?
Yeah. So like obviously first the strategy call, which I think people undervalue. So that strategy call is obviously identifying needs first before they even jump on board.
Yeah, which if you're a face-to-face starting out, that's your free consult.
Yeah. So once we go through the strategy call, after that they'll get formulation of their kind of training document or their coaching document, we call it. So it will have their program, their check-in data, their weekly review, some form of like warm-up document, and some information on nutrition if they need it, because that's kind of case specific. They also get access to a portal that will have a sequence of videos to get them started first. So onboarding process, how things work, how to enter this, how to communicate with your coach, check-in times, those kind of things. And then after that, there's a sequence of information that's related to each pillar. That is our method, that master method. So it's like, here's some stuff to, go over a little bit and refresh or learn about in terms of mentality. These are the mindsets that we can fall into. These are circumstances where you might experience them. This is why we train the way we train. This is how you need to eat and eat specific to these goals. So you'll find that your nutrition will sway depending on your goals and your preferences. This is how we train in the gym to optimize your time spent there. How to get the most out of those major movement patterns and major exercise or muscle groups. Then there's recovery. So it's like, this is how to live the lifestyle and what you need to do outside of the gym. So there's a lot of touch points that they can, have to serve themselves in the gym and then obviously learn outside of the gym.
Yep.
Then we obviously have our check-in, interactive experience with the coach, on a weekly basis or depending on their service, what they take up on. And then, obviously access to the network with everybody within it. And then you've got other things, events, there's all of those touch points are the service.
Yeah. And
then it's like, depending on what service they take up will depend on how many of those inclusions you have or what frequency they're in.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's how you're layering your service for sure.
Yeah.
And then obviously because we have, through our mentorship, we have face-to-face coaches with the STCfit brand as well. So
last thing I forgot to mention.
So the difference there is like what Jace is talking about is like the check-in process is different. Maybe the program is going to be different. Like we're working with a slightly different clientele, so it's probably less complex, slightly less minutia. And then we've got a sliding scale for our nutrition as well that starts like basic habit building right through to, God forbid, meal plans, and everything in between, like macros and all that kind of stuff. Yep. So a good, I guess, litmus test of this is like our face-to-face group have their own value compass that is different to our online client.
Yeah.
The health club client is going to be different to the online client. The problems are going to be slightly different. What they need is going to be slightly different. Yeah. We have a lot of people come to us that are offering check-ins because that's the good thing to do with your service. And they're like, oh, my fucking clients don't check in. It's like, we ran businesses for 8 years without ever doing formal check-ins.
Yeah.
You just do them in the session.
Yeah.
So again, and that's what we do with our face-to-face guys. Like the data's all still there.
Yeah.
Fill it in before you come to the session. If you don't fill it in before you come to the session, you fill it out while you're in the session. And we ask all the same questions, and we have the same based communication, same effective communication-based conversations to allow to open up, I guess, them setting goals and moving forwards. Whereas in an online environment, typically they're filling it all out on time. They're getting it to you on time, usually. Not always. But it's a slightly different environment. So you need to consider that. Does the mum with 2 kids who wants to outsource her personal training to you in the gym and have an appointment to show up, really going to sit down for 15, 20 minutes and fill out their check-in once a week on a Monday at the time that you dictate? Probably fucking not.
Yeah, and if you do the steps before that, like we spoke about with that value compass, you build the service off that particular person.
Yeah.
And it's like if you're training those mums 2 kids, like training's not going to change the decisions that they make for other things that are way more important to them. You don't need to do a check-in.
Yeah.
You know, if you've got those 3 clients that you have now that you want to attract more of, make a coaching spectrum or a service spectrum that serves those people, but also serves the majority of the people you work with. And then as you bring more of these people in and push more of those people out, you have this system already, this service already there. It's just you're just constantly bringing more and more and more people in. But if you don't have that, if you don't do the steps before this, you don't actually...
It's making it up as you go.
Yeah. Or you're just creating a service that doesn't complement most of the book that you have, and you're just going to push them out.
Yeah.
Because you're creating friction. You know,
Correct.
like the clients that aren't checking in because maybe the service doesn't really need it for that particular person, or maybe they don't need it for their goals or just where they're at. You pushing them and hassling them and all that kind of shit is creating friction. And at some point that can fracture a relationship and they can just move on.
And that's where you get those comments like, I need better clients.
Yeah.
It's like, no, your service needs to meet the client where they're at better.
Yeah. Or you need to find clients that match the service that you want to work with.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully you guys can kind of start to see a bit of a pathway now. So cool. First, I need to, because it's going to be challenging for you if you're listening to this. Typically, the people who listen to our podcast are highly intelligent. So congratulations. But they value education. They value being good at programming and good at nutrition, good at everything that they do. But then they expect their clients to behave the way they do with training, or value training the way that they do. And that's where the biggest obstacle tends to come in our first few years of training people.
Yeah. And the last thing that creating a service does is starts to push the mentality away from trading time.
Yeah.
Because what you're doing then is looking at all of the things that make up the service that you deliver for somebody, and that is more of a membership than it is like you do 2 sessions a week, and that means they're 45 minutes each and it's just this much.
Yeah.
So then what happens when you don't do the session? You don't get paid. So then your business has a huge hole.
8 weeks till Christmas.
Yeah.
And the client's going to take 3 weeks off.
Yeah, so you're going to put them all on suspension over 2 weeks and just not get paid for it.
Yeah.
And it's like,
It's a huge mentality shift.
Yeah.
Yeah, so drop off of onboarding. It's interesting. I just had a conversation with one of our mentees yesterday. Like, we've done it before. We've had a trainer in a gym over Christmas who put on 10 sessions in a week. Yeah. Because all the other trainers went on holidays and he was the only one there. So a drop off depends what you determine a drop off. Will they check in? Will they do all those things? Definitely you'll see a lower check-in rate.
Business activity.
Yeah, but that's something that I usually do with my clients. Like, I'm going to be looking this day. You've got your shit in and I'll look at it. If you don't, I don't. And that's totally up to you.
Yeah.
A drop off in terms of sales, perhaps like late December, maybe it slows down a little bit. But in saying that, gym memberships tend to trend up as well. So if you have a good strategy, probably not. I think this is one of those like growth mindset things where people are like, oh, it's Christmas, so no one wants to join the gym. Or how do I sign someone to a 12-week term when they're leaving, or when they're going on holidays for 4 weeks? Yeah. It's like the only way to get them over the line is to spend. Like, there's still ways around that, and there's always clients out there.
Yeah. Not everybody celebrates Christmas too.
Well, that's,
Yeah, so that's another big thing to understand, especially living in Australia now, like a very multicultural country. Like, there's heaps of people out there that still want to train.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that.
I think you're famous for your Christmas Day workouts.
Yeah. Whatever day it falls on. If it falls on a Saturday, I won't go.
Yeah.
If it falls on a Monday to Friday, I'm at the gym.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that when you develop the business mindset, it's just you got to push the ball. You got to continuously get momentum. As soon as you stop, for whatever reason, you tell yourself, you've got to pick that momentum up again, and there's going to be a lag time between action and effect.
Yeah, at least a month.
Yeah. So just don't have that mentality to start with. Yeah. And it's like, okay, no matter what, you're always doing something to work on the business and keep it moving forward. And if people come, they come. If they don't, they don't. Because the thing that people don't do is when they sign 5 clients up in a week, go, oh, what did I do to do that? They just go, oh, I just signed 5 clients up. So it's the same when you don't sign any up. Yeah. It's like, just keep doing it, because it's not that you did something that made those 5 clients rock up in that week. It's like everything that you've done up until now got you those 5 clients.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a 1-to-1 ratio. No. For sure. So, yeah, just to cap off what you were saying, like there's a really big shift between selling an outcome and selling personal training.
Yeah.
Like a huge, like the gap couldn't be larger. It sounds like nothing. Like, oh, cool, you made this document and now, like, on paper, you know what their problems are and shit. It's like, no. Like, it's fucking night and day.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if people still do it. They probably do, and I just don't hear about it. But, like, people that used to write out, oh, I've got to write my session plans for tomorrow. And people would sit down and write their workouts for their clients the next day.
Yeah. People don't even do that. They just rock up and look around the gym.
Yeah.
It still happens, mate. Trust me.
That hurts my feelings. I don't talk about that.
Well, it's a fucking thing.
So the whole idea that, like, if you know who this person is, you can put together, like, a plan in terms of what their programming is most likely going to look like that you can then adjust for the individual. Talk about people with ineffective and inefficient back ends. It's like, if you're writing a new program for every single person that walks through the door from scratch, yes, you customize every single program. But having that system in place that I know, like, this is like when someone who's from classes comes to me and wants to lose body fat. This is probably the approach that I'm going to take. Yeah. Someone wants to squat, bench, deadlift. This is the approach I'm probably going to take initially. Someone wants to create a physique. This is the approach I'm going to take initially. Yeah. I've got a sliding scale of nutrition approaches that I can apply when need be. So it's not like sit down with Jason and rewrite what I do as a service every single time. No. Because that will destroy you. You won't last 3 to 5 years doing that, let alone 10 to 15 to 20. Awesome. So then we need to sell it.
Which is the easiest part.
Yeah. You need to actually get some clients. So our position has shifted a little bit on this. So a year ago, I used to say that most personal trainers don't need a website.
Yeah.
If you're a face-to-face only trainer, that's probably still true to a degree, but I think there's more value in it now than what there was then. Yeah. If you're an online coach, I think it's like almost a must now. It's highly valuable. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I think if you look at the steps involved in, like, someone going through the ecosystem, landing on a website is going to stand out compared to one that's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'd have to be exceptionally bought into the message and, like, tuned into wherever else you're active.
Yeah.
To want to buy without a website.
Yeah, well, I think what used to be the case is we used to do the 44-4-2. It's like if you DM 40 people, post 4 times, and do 4 stories a week that are all actually talking about those client problems that we identified in the value compass, and then advertise your service twice a week, you could get a full book online real quick. We've had trainers do, what was it, like 2 to 43 in 8 weeks or some bullshit. Yeah. Wild. So that used to be enough. You could definitely do that. Now, fuck, just the sheer amount of online presence that there is.
Yeah.
Let alone the quality, let alone the level of competition that there is now around, there has to be a reason why you stand out as someone that's worth working with.
Yeah.
And I think a great way to do that is leading them to a website. Yeah. Now, the website itself, we talk about, like, and you've probably heard the term before, like an ascending transaction model. So we start at the bottom end So something that is crazy that not everyone is doing. Everyone's making reels because everyone's comfortable and happy on Instagram. And like some people are also doing TikTok. Some people just have it auto share to Facebook.
Yeah.
And no one's really talking about YouTube at the moment. It's the same content. You can post your reel, your TikTok, your YouTube short, and your Facebook reel with the same video.
Yeah.
So I think that is the bottom of your ascending transaction model. It's like showing people your stuff.
Socials, yeah.
Now, there's no point getting tons of views on these short videos if it's not actually driving them to what the next step of that ascending transaction model. Typically, that is going to be something that is of value that requires nothing from the client. So free resource, something on a website, maybe a YouTube video, even blogs and that kind of stuff if you want to start out there. Creating something that you can send people to that they can take in, that's you. That actually solves a problem for them. The next step from there is something that requires buy-in. So they watch the reel, they go watch the YouTube video series, or they go to your website and like have a look at this free resource of how to calculate their macros or whatever it is. The next step now is like, we need an email, probably an Instagram handle, or a phone number, because no one actually has or uses email anymore. We need some kind of details shared or a small fee to buy a product that solves a problem for them again.
Yeah.
So what does that interaction look like? How are you going to set that up? This is what your website is actually made up of all these things. So we get that. That allows us then to follow up. Well, how did you go with that? Did we solve a problem for you? Blah, 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 blah. Then we can start looking at what the premium service is, which is going to be premium coaching.
Yeah.
So it sounds really, really overwhelming. The main thing I would say is work your way up that funnel.
Yeah.
Because those social media outlets still work to attract business. So start there. And if you make like this fucking awesome resource for your clients to go and use, and you never talk about it, and it's never anywhere for anyone to find,
it's useless.
It's kind of a waste of time.
Yeah.
So get in the rhythm of the content creation side of things, and then build those steps in terms of the value that you create, and work out how to package that into your website as well. So your website really is going to have an overview of what you do, who you are, your totally free, no obligation content, some kind of buy-in based content, and then advertisement for your core product.
Yeah.
Shadow, what's up?
Hey, doggo.
The podcast dog has arrived.
Yeah.
I think she was locked outside.
Yeah,
so
she's a bit
now
wet.
she's like, what's up? Melbourne raining again.
If you're wet, my dogs are wet. That's my feelings.
Something fun to look for when you get home. So if you start creating all of that, you will have now people, better clients, coming to your business because you've shown that you could solve their problem.
Yeah.
Now, what does this mean for a face-to-face coach who's maybe just starting out? The fastest way to build your business is to make phone calls.
Yep.
There's no two ways, if, buts, nothing. Like, if you don't have a full book, make phone calls until you fucking do.
Yeah, I wish we had a microphone at dinner on Friday night when Jackson was just like, people just don't do them and they're a gold mine.
Yeah.
I was like, fucking someone that gets it.
Yeah.
Who has a successful business.
Yeah.
Like shock.
Yeah, because it's less and less popular, I think, as we get more and more text-based.
Yeah, speaking on the phone is...
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the meme that's like anyone pre 30 years old and it's like has to make a phone call and it's like a Rocky Man montage.
100%. Yeah, so that is your go-to. Getting on the phones, getting people in for those consultations and going from there. So you mentioned the consultation earlier. I think sometimes PTs can kind of undervalue the idea that like, oh, I've got to give my free time. It's like, well, you're not a physio. You can't charge for your first one. People have had... I guarantee the people that say that also say that the fitness industry sucks.
Yeah.
And if the fitness industry sucks, you're going to have to take a moment, to show this person you don't suck. Because most people now have some form of exposure to the fitness industry before they get to you.
Yeah. I think we spoke about. Where did we speak about it? Because it's
Yeah.
partly because didn't we say because fitness is so infant as an industry that we're not like doctors that have been around for like fucking thousands of years, like in a capacity.
Yeah.
So there's the authority that comes with going to a doctor or someone's like, all right, I know I have to pay for this.
Yeah.
We're like partly because we're infant in our existence as an industry, and it's a little bit of the fucking Wild West because it's actually not regulated.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
As much as people probably think it is. Like the only way it's regulated is if you're insured.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. If you're not insured, you're a fucking cowboy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's got a little bit to do with that. Like, and then it's like, I don't know. For me, I just trade off the reward, the risk to the reward. It's like, okay, so you could potentially, like, I think average retention's like, 3 years working with a client personally. Yeah. And I know you're very similar. So you give up, 45 minutes of your time?
Yeah. For 3 years.
For like nearly 20 grand?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know about you, man.
Seems
it's a pretty good trade-off.
And
do the numbers, man.
I think the other side of that too is like a good sales process. So if you're good on the phone, you get on the phone, identify what they're struggling with, and build a reason for them to come in and sit down with you.
Yeah.
You do a good consult where it's like, what are your goals? What are the main obstacles that you actually have? We do have a direct sales episode too, guys, if you want to go listen to that. It's a few back in the chain, you'll find it.
Show notes in M10.
Yeah. You do that well, create all of this buy-in and trust and build a relationship with the person you're working with. In my opinion, you have 4 weeks. It's probably 2, but I don't want to scare everyone, so I'm going to say it's 4, to get momentum with the client. And if you don't, the likelihood of them leaving at that 12-week minimum term because you have one is really high.
Yeah.
Because they're not bought into the process, obviously, or they would have executed it. Yeah. And you haven't been able to determine the level that they need to come in at in a fast enough time frame. So in terms of actual getting results for your clients, which is the thing, right? It's like if you have any pushback, resistance, all of that around like sales and marketing and all of that, typically you're the guy that hangs everything on just getting client results. If I'm just a good trainer, if I'm the best programmer, if I'm the best whatever, then everything will take care of itself. We know too many intelligent, good personal trainers that aren't busy.
Yeah, or aren't personal trainers anymore.
To believe that to be true.
Yeah.
But this part, if you really believe that, the whole quote-unquote sales process is about getting them results.
Yeah.
Because you're identifying the service that you have. Will that suit the person that's in front of me? Someone sits down with me and says, hey, I want to run a marathon. Maybe I'd look at it now because I've worked on it. But generally speaking, like say a triathlon or something like that, or something I'm not well versed in, this isn't where you need to be.
Yeah.
But if I sit down with them, identify their goals, their problems, and go, yep, the service that I provide fixes all that. A better example would be someone comes to me and they're new to the gym. Like, you're not going to get value out of the dollar fee that I'm going to charge you. Go and train with a face-to-face client.
Yeah.
Who wants to work with brand new people.
Yeah.
Because you'll get more out of it. Yeah. And that allows you then to have better clients. That's my my quote for
really
the day.
Going in on that today.
So, yeah, I think that's a really big part of it. And then, what's up, guys? Another quick break. I just wanted to jump in and remind you guys about the STCfit Learning Mentorship. Now, our mentorship's been running since about 2016, where we've developed trainers through their first year of business in personal training and allowed them to leapfrog the first 5 years of mistakes that we made. If you're currently studying, looking to finish in the next month or so, or you're looking for someone to help you out with mentoring and all that kind of stuff, jump on, have a look at the details for the mentorship at stcfitlearning.com. Head to programs and mentorship and all the details are there. And you can come and be an STC Fit coach for an entire year. Includes all of our education and direct mentoring from our head coaches. Back to the episode. Yeah, so we've done go through the consult, sign up the client. Again, go listen to the sales episode if you want to unpack that really deeply. Then we just move into actually being really fucking good at your job.
That's the fun part.
Yeah. which is what everyone listening is probably already pretty good at.
But it likes to go there the most, and we do too.
100%. Yeah, and it's like we have our scorecard, so you guys should go check this out. So if you go to our website and go to scorecard, there's a full business scorecard on there to evaluate where your business sits based on what we think is the elite level of the industry right now. Yeah. So if you're scoring really highly on that, there's a good chance that you're the best in your gym, best in your area, and you're actually probably like top of echelon in terms of quality in the fitness industry as well.
Yeah.
So go take that quiz and see where you're at. More often than not, the questions that are around training, around programming, around nutrition, all that kind of stuff.
Hard skills
are really, really high.
Yeah.
And then it's like business basics, sales, coaching language,
T's and C's,
all of those kind of things.
Yeah.
They're the ones that need the most work.
Yeah.
So get on there and check that out. But yeah, moving into, okay, well, what do you need to know? Now, the way we look at this is like, what are you going to be the best at? I think Max said it at our, what was it, Bigger, Fitter, Stronger seminar that we did. He said, being the best is subjective, being the only is
finite.
Correct. So can you be the only person in your gym that can provide this level of service to the people you work with? Are you the only person that can get this level of results?
Yep.
And then what does it take to do that? So the biggest things we look at, obviously fundamentals of anatomy, etc., assessing movement, progressing, regressing movement, which is huge. And then, well, what do most clients want? They either want to be bigger. So Jason, you talk about bigger. Dean McKillop talks about being bigger and fucking shredded on a stage. Or they want to be stronger. So I talk about being stronger. Will talks about being stronger on a platform. We have Lizzie in for nutrition. We have Max and Carl in for rehab and athletic development, with the intent that, like, what can you offer the people in your gym that the other trainers can't?
Yeah.
And what can you offer in the online space that other people can't? Is there anything else that stands out inside that pillar for you?
Finance.
Yeah, so we are also talking about finance.
How to take care of your finances and how to accrue income to actually buy shit.
Yeah, so
not shoes, actual significant stuff.
Yeah, like, a car and a house. So yeah, I guess like moving into that space as well, like being the best business owner, and this came up in the chats over the weekend as well, like the badge on the shoulder of first in, last out. It's like, that's not a flex.
Yeah.
It's not. You don't want to be first in, last out, sorry. Probably suggests that you have a business that revolves around training time for money. And there's a really good chance that even though you're first in, last out, you're not making the most money.
Yeah.
And if you look 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, are you able to keep up that pace?
Yeah, I think to play devil's advocate, you want to have that mentality, but you don't want to have to do it all the time.
I agree.
So we talk about the whole
it, right?
Yeah, it's like work hard versus work smart.
I used to get pissed off when you were still there. Like, fucking Jason.
It's just
here
I am just doing my thing.
I was usually last to leave, but Jace was always first there because he liked the mornings and I fucking hated him.
So yeah, I think, you got this hard versus smart kind of thing, but it's like
both.
Yeah, have the capacity to work hard when you need to.
Yeah.
But always be trying to work smarter. And it's like, okay, well, I don't want to set the tone that you have to be the last to leave and the first there. It's like if you can hit your goals.
Yeah.
I feel like we live in an age now where people make fucking millions of dollars playing video games. Right? They have to work hard. But they have to be smart about what they do.
Yes.
And sure, like, maybe they can, sell it however they want it, how hard it is, but it's not. And I think that we should now be looking at how to seize opportunity and get our time back, and be smart with the way we operate so that we don't have to be a slave to the job.
Yeah.
Because like you said, if you have that as the only mentality, you're setting a mindset that binds yourself to your business.
Yeah.
And you can't move yourself from there.
So maybe the caveat I would add to that is if you're in your first year, if you're outside of your first year, you shouldn't have that problem.
Yep.
You probably shouldn't be first in, last out at that point. Because what it says to me is also you're probably not working on your business at all ever.
Yeah.
You're just working in it all the time.
Yeah, I think like the message is okay. It's like work hard.
Yeah.
You know, give it all.
Yeah.
Like don't be a pussy and put your head in the sand and expect like, you know, things to magically, you know, correct themselves.
Yeah.
I think that is a message that could be articulated with better words.
Yeah. If you've been first in, last out for an extended period of time, something's wrong.
I know heaps of people that were first in, last out, and now they ain't trainers no more.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it wears you down.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah,
we did it. That's why we talk about it. It's not like we were pussies and we're like, oh, we'll just do 20 sessions a week and figure it out. It's like, nah.
At the networking day, the ARPT, I'll call it a networking day because that's all it was.
Yeah.
I met a coach who's, you know, running her own studio and whatever, and I said, oh, how many sessions are you doing, whatever. I know. She's like, oh, I've probably got capacity to like push it up to 40. And like I shivered. Like I didn't even want to eat the sushi that was in my hand. I was like, fuck, I just lost my appetite. And then I was like, how old are you? And then, she's like, oh, you know, mid-20s or whatever. And I was like, okay, makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Because I was there.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was there. So there's definitely like a course of, you know, what you need to do to get yourself in a position. You have to work hard to get yourself into a position to be able to work smart, I think. But you should always be trying to look at things and go, how can I get the most out of this without kind of killing myself at the same time?
Yeah, don't eat shit for the sake of eating shit.
Yeah, you don't have to. Like, look at people in Standout PT. It's like, you know, we almost like, what do they say? Like the reason why your mentees become better than you is because they didn't have you. You didn't have you as a mentor. And you see, you know, 10 months, 11 months in, hiring coaches and, you know, being able to like peel back on PT, go online. It's like, fuck, man, like,
yeah.
So if we sent that mentality like you have to do this and you have to be in the gym this much, no, it's like you're almost like, I guess, you know, disabling their potential.
He's building copies of yourself too. That's like, and it took us too long. Don't do that.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yeah, don't make all the same mistakes that we did.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Yep. Bit of a tangent.
It's good. Hopefully that was a useful episode. So it was a little bit more structured than usual. But hopefully the main goal in this one is actually takeaway stuff.
Yeah.
You can actually step back, look at your business and go, okay, this is where I'm strong, this is where I'm weak, and this is what I need to kind of put some time into. One of the other coolest things that the mentality shift that I would pass on to people, because we talk about this throwaway line of like work on your business, not in your business. Like your business isn't progressing if you're just training people. Early on, you need to train lots of people because that's how you develop your skills. But the business itself needs development. You need to create that content, create those resources, build that website, fucking do that course, whatever else you need to do to improve the business needs to happen. And one of it kind of seems overwhelming a lot of the time. Like even inside Standout, we talk about how to become bingeable. And it's like having 7 hours of content with 11 exposures to a person across 4 different platforms, and people's heads explode. Like 7 hours of fucking content. Are you serious? Like, how do I create that without starting a podcast or whatever?
Yeah.
And it's like, if you just work on your business 1 hour a day, every day, your business will not look the same in 3 months, in 6 months, 12 months.
Yeah.
You'll look back and go, how did I get here? And it's not a lot of time. Everyone can fucking take 2 sets. If you are first in, last out, take away 2 sessions and spend that hour working on your business. And you'll get exponential rewards on the $120 you lost for that hour.
Yeah.
So that's my takeaway. If you are interested in everything that we did today and you liked the sound of everything that we talked about, essentially this is the framework for our Standout PT program. So we walk through every single one of these pillars on a rotational basis, obviously written content and practical workshops to make sure you actually do it. So it's not another course that you just kind of
learn and rock up and don't do.
I did that because I listened to the person talk about the things. Like we actually, with you, go through what you actually need to do in a practical format. Obviously, all those guests that we named are contributors as well, which is sick for us. I love the fact that we have the best in what I think is the best in the country bringing content to that, and that's why we have hand selected them. So if you want to be a part of it, stcfitlearning.com. and you'll find programs, and you can check out the Standout PT program there. We do also have a mentorship. So if you haven't started yet, and this is like
super overwhelming,
what the fuck did you just say? They didn't teach any of this in the Cert 4. No, they didn't, and that's why it exists. But you can actually have the opportunity to come and work as an STCfit coach for 12 months. So if you're a new coach looking to get into the industry, that's what that program is designed for. You can use everything, that amazing service that Jason talked about. You can actually just plug into that and use that. So that's on the website as well, same spot, and you can check out all the details there. Awesome.
Sounds good.
We'll see you again next week.
Thanks, guys. Bye.